Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today is going to be a great day. And I'm inviting you today to really allow yourself to feel good. I say this at the end of every podcast. When you feel good, you can do good. And something just drew me today to talk about the permission that only you can give yourself to feel good. And isn't that so interesting? It is one of the things that is most certainly in your power. You know, I talk all the time about how we keep trying to fight things that are out of our control, like, whether or not your patient shows up on time, or whether or not all your team members will show up on time to work today, or whether or not your office manager gives her 2-week notice. All out of your control. And those are the things that cause us the greatest stress. But when you realize how much is in your power, and notice I don't use the word control, and there's a very specific reason for that, but in your power is your permission to give yourself to choose how you feel. And I'm not saying that you need to be positive all day long. That's not what I'm saying. And that's what I thought I'd talk about today is how can you today give yourself permission to feel good? And what the hell does that even mean? And why does it even matter? Because this is the crux of what we do here at the Business of Happiness. The whole mission of this big, beautiful business that I have built is to serve women like you who are taking care of everyone else, who are healing people, taking people out of their pain, raising children, have literally birthed life and birthed businesses and birthed these beautiful entities that are caring for thousands and thousands of people and hiring team members and supporting these women. Can we just pay attention to that for a moment? Because I don't think you can hear this enough. If you are a business owner in dentistry, thank you for providing work for families, whole families to survive on. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever drive to work and say, oh my God, the number of people I'm influencing in real, tangible ways because of my courage to go after my dreams? Babe, that's enormous. And I honor you and I salute you because there are so few people, not just women, men and women, who have the courage to do something really scary, like open a practice, buy into a practice, lead a team, and literally provide work and money and income and security and health insurance and paid time off and a place of stability to come to work every day that is nurturing. I mean, what a gift you are giving so many women that you're working with. And then for all those mamas out there, I mean, I can go on and on and on. And please, I do all the time. Thank you for what you do. The purpose of this beautiful business of the Business of Happiness, not just program, but business model, is to support you in taking care of yourself. Because what I know, is when you feel good, you make an even bigger impact on the world in a million ways. So that's what I want to talk about today, because the only person who is holding you at hostage is yourself. And that is not meant to be blameful or accusatory or insulting. It is meant to be liberating, because that is the power you have in you. So what does it even mean to feel good? I mean it on every level possible. Yes, I mean it physically. Of course. When you feel good in your body, you can do so much more. And I'm saying that from somebody who has lived this, as someone who suffered from migraines for 40 years. I know that sounds crazy. Let me be more accurate. I started my migraines when I was 16, and I had migraines until 42. Okay, there you go. I'm not going to do the math here. And when I say migraines, I mean 4 to 19 migraines a month. And I know that because I went to so many specialists and I kept logs of all of my migraine sufferers out there. You hear me. How many people have told you to keep a journal on your migraines and the foods you ate and what you were doing and how much sleep and the medications you were taking? I went to neurologists and endocrinologists and was on every medication, I was on diabetic medication. I was on anti-blood pressure medication. I was on anti-seizure medication. I was on antidepressants. I tried everything. And for all that time, from the age of 16 to the age of 42, I was dependent on medication to take the pain away. And I still showed up to work and pushed through the pain. And when I learned how to listen to my body and give my body what it needed, when I started doing this work at the age of 42, and no, it wasn't menopause because I'm not there yet, but when I started doing the work and really paying attention to what makes me feel good and being really honest with myself, when I started feeling good in my body, man, it just took off. It just took off in terms of what I was capable of. So yes, I mean physically. I mean feeling strong in your body. I mean feeling good in your back and your neck and your shoulders and your head. I mean taking care of yourself. Asking yourself, what is it that makes me feel good? For me, drinking water. If I don't drink water regularly, I don't feel as great. If I don't do yoga and stretching multiple times a week, I don't feel as good. If I don't run, I don't feel as good. If I don't meditate, I don't feel literally in my body. And that also required for me rest. The R word. And not just on vacations, not pushing through to get to the vacation to finally rest. No, it meant daily practice of rest and prioritizing that. Even when the voices in my head told me, you've rested enough. And trust me, I went through that whole experience. You've rested enough, Tarryn. You already took a week off. You can't need more rest. Or, come on, Tarryn, you slept in. Let's get going now. Whatever it was, whatever the noises and the voices in my head that told me I didn't deserve when my body was asking for it. And that's what I'm talking about. Yes, in your body, but also in your mind and in your own happiness. Your happiness matters. And prioritizing the way you feel matters. Because when you feel good, you make phenomenal good decisions. You make beautifully aligned choices. And when I say aligned, what do I mean? I mean aligned with your values. And not just because you're feeling like you're pushed into a corner, or reactive, like I have to just make a decision right now because I don't have a choice, or I have to show up because that's what they expect of me. I mean, aligned with what's true to you. And only when you're in a place of feeling good can you do that. Only when your body and your mind and your heart feel safe. Change happens at the speed of safety. Growth happens at the speed of safety, not the other way around. It's not that we change when we're pushed into a corner. Yes, change happens then, but is it aligned? Is it intentional? Is it clear? No. How you feel matters. And what I really want to talk about today is what you've been avoiding in terms of giving yourself permission to feel good. What in your life have you been avoiding taking action on, even though you know that's the thing that'll help you feel good? And maybe it's something like getting a massage every 2 weeks, because please, we put our bodies through ridiculous things in dentistry, contorting. It is not an if, it is a must. Getting some support with your body, whether it's a dedicated yoga practice or stretching routine, or helping somebody actually put their hands on your body and work out the kinks. How are you taking care of your body? How are you supporting your body? And maybe that's something you have not taken action on, but you know that it'll help you feel good. And maybe there's a voice in your head that's saying, I don't deserve to feel good. Maybe your voice is saying, I'll make that choice when I get to a certain place in my life or a certain number in my bank account. What are you avoiding? And only you know the answer to that. I'm just posing the question. What are you avoiding taking action on? Maybe it's having a conversation. Maybe you're avoiding a conversation with a team member who isn't showing up the way that she really needs to. Maybe it's avoiding having a conversation with your husband or your wife. Maybe it's avoiding having a conversation with your daughter or your son or your mother or your friends Or maybe it's avoiding having that conversation with yourself. What are you avoiding? Because the voice inside your head tells you it's too scary, you're not good enough, there's not enough time, you should be happy, you should have a better mindset about it. And anytime, by the way, that voice says the word should, I would invite you to be extremely suspicious. In fact, let that word should be your little indicator light on your dashboard. Whoop, judgment, judgment, judgment. There's something to investigate here. Never listen to shoulds. Always listen to what you know you need for yourself, because shoulds scream of expectations that other people are putting on you, or assumptions or rules that are arbitrary. So what conversation have you been avoiding, and with whom? I often find that that's one of the most common causes of frustration, overwhelm, unhappiness. Is there something that needs, a conversation that needs to happen that you know that if you got through this conversation, you would feel better on the other side, no matter how it turns out? And I really want to emphasize this. It's not the outcome that's going to make you feel better. It's the conversation. And it's so funny because we avoid the conversation. We don't realize how powerful it is. Because when you're expressing the way you feel, when you're expressing your needs, when you're creating clarity, you move to a whole new, deeper understanding of yourself. We sometimes need to vocalize these things in order to make it clear. Because in your head, the thoughts are happening so rapidly and so mumbled and jumbled that often we don't even know what we're thinking. It's 1,000 thoughts a minute. And when you verbalize it and you put it into sentence formation and explain it to another human, you actually create clarity. It's why talk therapy is so great. You actually gain greater insight for yourself. So it doesn't matter what the outcome of that conversation is. It's creating clarity. And the outcome always gets you closer to feeling better. Maybe it's something that won't feel so good in the short term, but man, is it what needs to happen in the long term. And I think this is where we often get clouded. We think, and I'm going to use something like chocolate. This chocolate's going to make me feel good right now in the moment. Is it? Yes, going to give you a dopamine hit. Yep. Is it going to make you feel good in the long run? No, you know this. We don't need to unpack that more. Is this conversation that's going to be a little bit confrontational feel good? No, but in the long run, it's going to create clarity. Is just pretending it's not happening and turning a blind eye going to feel good? Maybe in the short term, but in the long run, we know what's actually going to happen. It's always going to play out. So I'm asking you now, what is the conversation or the action you've been avoiding? And let's talk about that second part, the action. Maybe it's a really big decision that actually doesn't need to be talked about. You know what needs to happen. Maybe it's taking that first step towards a dream of yours. Maybe there's something that's been burning inside of you that you know you've had this calling for a very long time and you keep thinking about it. Maybe it's building that building or buying that practice or selling that practice or writing that book, taking those music classes. What is it that you know needs to be taken action on that you've been avoiding? And now do you start noticing how important it is to give yourself permission to feel good? And I know many times we tell ourselves, if I did this thing, people around me are going to be hurting. People are going to suffer. If I change, if I pivot, if I do something different from what I've been doing, if I take action on this thing, people are going to be disappointed. People are going to be shocked. People are going to be angry. People are going to have things to say. Yes, ma'am. All those things are true. And I know that when you feel good, you're going to be able to support more people in greater ways. Always, every single time. And are there people that are going to feel uncomfortable with your change? Yes, there are. And even in that is learning for them. Can we just take a moment to recognize that? What if you've decided and realized that it's time to terminate your relationship, your intimate relationship, your marriage, and you've been avoiding taking action on this for a long time because of what your family might say? And what if your courage to take action on that you know will lead to longer term happiness for you, actually inspires your sister-in-law to do the same, to live her most vibrant life, to stand up and say, this is who I am? What if it inspires your daughter or your niece to not settle in their lives? What if this courageous action that you give yourself permission for is the catalyst that inspires and supports so many other people? Because I don't care how many teeth you straighten or crowns you place, that one moment inspiration is worth all of it. All of it. So much more. Imagine that. Imagine that little girl who says, you know what, I saw my aunt do this, and say, you know what, my happiness is more important. My kids are going to be okay. Or she pivoted and decided to purchase a practice and make it her own. Even when the whole world said, now's not the right time. Don't do it that way. Don't do it this way. That won't get you patients in the building. Let me tell you, I did that myself. I said, I am not going to allow other people's opinions to decide how I build this beautiful practice. It was the best decision I ever made because I felt good. And when you feel good, you can do good. What does that even mean? When you feel strong, self-supported, self-worth, that sense of deep self-worth, of deserving, of going after your dreams, when you feel that, your decisions become so clear. You become courageous to make mistakes because guess what? You're still going to make mistakes because that's human. And that's how we learn. And that's how we discover. That's how we learn the things we like and don't like. That's how we identify our path. And maybe you chose dentistry when you were 19 years old and now you're 30 and you're like, I don't even know if this is right for me anymore. You didn't make a mistake. You just have more clarity now and you're not the same person. You get to choose again. You can't make a mistake because you always get to choose again every single time. And giving yourself that permission to take action on something that will let you feel good is everything. And this is where the work of the business of happiness comes in, of course, because I know your next question is how. Okay. I get it, Tarryn. I'm sold. When I, as a business owner, let's use this as a great example. When I, as a business owner in dentistry, feel good about myself, you're right. I notice. I show up to work. I am the coolest boss. I get there. People make mistakes, and I realize they're human too. And I don't slay them for making a mistake. We learn through the process. We put a new system or protocol in place. We learn and grow from it, and everyone feels really good. And then I have a team member who says to me, oh my God, you were so cool about that. I was terrified to tell you. And you realize, no, because I feel good and safe. I know I can navigate any problem that comes my way. I'm actually a really great leader when I'm in that place. I notice that when I feel really good about myself, my dentistry is fun. I allow myself to have a little bit of fun. I smile more. I notice I take more time for myself because I value and prioritize the way I feel. And that's amazing because then I show up present for my family at night and I don't dread going back to work. Let me tell you how impactful this is, guys. I just got back from vacation yesterday. I went on this wonderful trip to Ireland with my husband and my youngest daughter. It was phenomenal. And, years ago, I remember the dread, the heaviness of going back to work the next day. I've created a life I love. I love coming home. Don't get me wrong, I loved Ireland. It was a phenomenal trip and I loved coming home. I love the routine I've created for myself. I crave it. I love that I've prioritized my routine of how to feel good, that I get up in the morning and I meditate and I drink water and I go for a run and I honor that. I look forward to it. That kind of gets knocked off a little when I go on vacation. So I crave coming back to work and recording these important messages for you. I love it. It's my life and I love it. I don't have that heaviness anymore. Why? Because I've prioritized the way I feel every day. What if every day was a great day? Imagine that. If your life wasn't one you needed to escape constantly. Imagine the great decisions you could make from that place and the positive impact you could have on the world from that place. That is why the business of happiness exists. Because I believe so deeply in you. Because women are the most incredible things. We literally birth life. And I don't just mean in human form. I mean in terms of creation, in terms of businesses, in terms of impact, in terms of the life we give to others. We are life givers. And as women in dentistry, I know that you are nurturing and loving and caring for others. We are amazing. You are amazing. And not only do you deserve to take care of yourself the way you take care of everybody else, but it is a requirement of you because you are so much more impactful and your potential is so much greater when you do. Let this today be your message and your permission to prioritize you. So going back to the how, that is what we do here. The how of taking care of yourself is why the business of happiness exists. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what does this even mean? And you want to connect with me, please email me, Tarryn at drtarrynmccarthy.com or Tarryn at thebizofhappiness.com. I'll leave a link in the show notes. But also know that you are more capable than you realize. You are capable of so much more. And if there's this little whisper inside of you saying, there has got to be more to life than this. Is this it? Is this really it? Those are the words of wisdom speaking inside of you. And the answer is yes, there is. It is possible. And not only is it possible, it is your life's purpose to find out how to live it to the fullest. And it requires taking care of you. It requires prioritizing the way you feel. It requires you setting those boundaries, creating the language and the metacognition and awareness of the thoughts that you're thinking and the neuroplasticity, the belief in neuroplasticity. It's like believing in gravity. It's true. You can rewire the way you think in a way that supports you and empowers you. You can take care of your body with somatic practices, even as a woman in dentistry, even as a business owner in 2025 in dentistry. I'm living proof. By the way, if you are listening to this and you are a woman dental business owner, I'm having a phenomenal retreat in November 13 through 16, where we are talking exactly about this, the how. How do I do this, Tarryn, as a dental business owner who feels like I can't find team members. I'm constantly stressed because people are giving their notice. Nobody's actually doing their job the way they should do. Everyone's asking for too much money. I'm stressed about money all the time. I feel like I need more patience, but I feel like I'm so stressed all the time because I'm working so much harder. Please join me at the Empowered Owner Retreat in November. This is exactly what we're going to be talking about, the how. And I'll leave a link in the show notes here too. But what I really want to come back to for this episode is giving yourself permission. What have you been avoiding? What have you been avoiding prioritizing, speaking, the conversation, the action? And only you know this. And I know there is maybe multiple things, but I'm asking you to focus on one, because that's how you start change, is by making one baby step. What have you been avoiding? Trust the answer. The first thing that comes to your mind, let that be it. Don't question it. Just let it just percolate in your mind. Recognize it. And next, I'm going to invite you to take one baby step. If it's a conversation you've been avoiding, put it on the calendar. Send the email, say, I really want to make time to meet with you. The Slack, whatever it is, the SMS, whatever it is, however you communicate with your people, send the message and create the time. Take that one baby step. And then celebrate the you-know-what out of yourself. That tip's for free. Self-celebration is how we tell our minds that we are capable of doing things that are difficult. It's one of the ways of giving yourself more self-confidence to face things that feel challenging or scary, is when you take a baby step towards it. Even if it's buying a book about how to build and practice, or buying a book about yoga, or just looking online for yoga classes near me, then celebrate yourself. You are doing amazing things in this world every single day. Even though you might not see it right now and you've told yourself, isn't that what everyone's doing? The answer is no. And it also doesn't matter what everyone's doing. You're doing it. And you're having such a big impact on people's lives. And when you take care of yourself, that's when you can have an even greater impact. Because when you feel good, when you give yourself permission to prioritize the way you feel, and then take action on feeling good, on doing the things that feel good, on putting down the phone, on stopping scrolling, on taking a true lunch break, on speaking up for yourself, on taking a vacation, on ending your workday at a certain hour, on saying no to people when you really want to say no, and saying yes to experiences when you really want to say yes. When you feel good, that, my friend, is when you can do good. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Business of Happiness podcast. If this episode brought you new perspective and value, I invite you to subscribe so that you catch all upcoming episodes and leave us a review. And if you know of a friend or colleague who could benefit from this perspective, share this episode with them and empower their day. For more information about the Business of Happiness and the Radical Happiness for Practitioners course, find me on www.thebizofhappiness.com. See you there.